Oh, we're gonna come shopping.
We went to pick up wool, traveled a little bit further, and came home with a puppy. Join us on today's video. We went on a road trip to pick up some Vallis Blacknose sheep wool from a lady down south. And while there, my daughter found an ad for a puppy that had just been put up for adoption as a rescue. And it was another 25 minutes away from where we already were. So we went to take a look. And of course, look who came home with us. We have fallen in love with Lucy. Yeah.
This was not on the agenda today.
Nope. But she's a miniaussie.
I wasn't even going to come today, but then I had a feeling that I needed to just go.
Really?
I didn't know why. I just felt like
I
I
had
to
a
go,
feeling you weren't going to come.
but I wasn't going. Okay. Getting in the bag. It's naughty. Alright. Okay, we got to tighten it. It's a little bit big.
So this is Lucy. It actually took us a couple days to come up with her name. She is a mini Aussie, and I think she is going to fit in perfectly on our farm.
It's big.
Is it still?
Just a little bit big. She'll grow into it fast.
Yeah.
Okay, where's your leash? It's in the other bag, Mom. Okay. So here's Kingo Piddle. The leash is too big. It's a very heavy leash for a baby.
She's going to like her little toy. It's okay.
Take her to see.
Lucy has traveled a long ways in her 8 weeks of life. She had come from Colorado, and the gentleman that we picked her up from had gone to Colorado on a rescue type situation to pick up this little mini Aussie. But when he got home, they found out their landlord would not allow a second dog. But I also got the distinct impression that this little Lucy was a bundle of energy and far too hyper and excitable to have in the townhome where they lived. They were not set up to deal with a puppy like Lucy. Even though we knew we wanted a puppy eventually to add on to our farm, we were not prepared for a puppy. And so our lives have been turned upside down now for almost 2 weeks. But we wouldn't have it any other way. After traveling for over 3 hours to get home and a few pit stops along the way, we finally reached our house. And now we needed to introduce her to Zola, Morgan's pride and joy.
Look, honey. Oh, good girl.
Oh, good girl, Zola. It was super important that we introduced them in a space that didn't belong to Zola. It wasn't Zola's turf. And so we took them out front by the road, and then we took them on a long walk. This helped to get rid of some of the energy that was pent up and kind of gave them a minute to sniff each other out and figure out whether or not they could be friends before we brought the new baby into our home. We needed to make sure that Zola was on board and thought that this was a good idea. Oh, Odin came out to see. What do you think, Zoe? Okay.
It's okay, Zola.
Come on, Zoe.
Good girl. Let Zola go in first.
Yeah. The closer we got to the front door, the more anxious Zola became. Odin came to get in on the events and see what was happening. And the new puppy was a little bit anxious to come inside. But once she decided to come in, she was in all the way. Welcome to your new home. Okay. Sit.
Sit.
Good girl.
Good girl, though.
What is it, Maggie? Maggie was the first of our cats to really come and check out the puppy. Needless to say, she wasn't really impressed. The puppy was very anxious and continued to come over to me for reassurance. We had been gone all day and we needed to go out and do chores. So Morgan went out and got a little cage playpen thing to put the puppy in so that we could make sure she was safe while we got all of our chores done. This was a really good idea. Because of her being so small and we had just introduced her, we didn't want to put her in a position where there could be some angst or stress with the other animals. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. As you could see, Morgan was beaming with happiness at the arrival of her new baby. But yet we still hadn't come up with her name. So I made a post on social media that night about our new baby, and lots of people started suggesting names. Lots of really fun, super cute names came about. But we saw the name Lucy and just fell in love. It just fit her perfectly. I didn't think it would happen that quick. I Love Lucy is one of my very favorite television shows. I watch it and have fond memories of different times in my life when I was young. So what better name could she possibly have? Because everybody loves Lucy. Morgan made her up a little bed that we thought maybe she would be comfortable in.
You can go inside of there?
But she didn't show much enthusiasm for it. And in fact, the first time that we had put her in it to make her stay was an all-out panic attack. So we decided maybe we should just set it there and let her come in and out of it so that she could see that it was a soft, warm, comfortable place and not a scary place. This video has bits and pieces from the next 48 hours, or maybe it was 72 hours. And by the time 3 days was up, oh my goodness, you guys, I felt like I'd been run over by a train. She wouldn't sleep. She cried all the time unless we were holding her, and we were having a problem catching her, going potty. Even if we would take her outside and exercise her, and we would see her potty, would come in the house and play for 2 or 3 minutes and she'd go pee. It was absolutely insane. We thought we were going to lose our mind. And then we started to get a routine. I made yet another post on social media asking for tips, and I had lots of people give me lots of tips, and I appreciated every one of them, and we read through every one of them. I even had someone call me, and they're very knowledgeable when it comes to animals, and they told us about crate training and the proper way to do that, and so we took bits and pieces from all of this information and made a few adjustments and applied them to our situation. Right here, Lucy is eating some pumpkin. Her tummy was really upset and she had a lot of diarrhea, which I believe is part of the reason we had so much trouble the first 2 days is she just didn't feel good. She still is only 8 weeks old and had already been in 2 more homes from her birth home and recently weaned. So she had been through many different kinds of food, lost her main source of nutrition, which was the milk from the mother. And so this little gal was having quite a time with her digestive system. But pumpkin can help that. Pumpkin is good for kittens and puppies and dogs when they have upset stomachs. It was just like having a newborn baby, to be honest. When she would sleep, We were so excited, and we would lay down and take a nap because she was just keeping us all wrapped up, and it was a little bit crazy. But oh, she was cute. So here's some of the adjustments we made. We put down pee pads, and then we put over this thick waterproof padding that my daughter purchased online. I'll leave a link below. And then we set on her playpen area, and we made it smaller. Then we put in her crate with a nice comfy pillow and a blanket. But we left it open, and we left it to her choice to go in instead of frightening her the way it scared her the first time when we put her in it and locked her in. And I believe she was really scared because every time she had gotten in one of those, she disappeared from the home and went somewhere else. And that has to be pretty scary for a little 8-week-old puppy. So we put her in the playpen, and she began to come in and out and in and out. And then we let her cuddle up with a blanket and a couple of toys. And this was our saving grace, you guys. This was the beginning of being able to settle down. We didn't make it huge. We made it a small area so that we could keep a close eye on her. She has her designated sleeping area if she chooses inside. And yet she has blankets on the outside to curl up with and some toys. We did this so that she could be safe, we could keep our eye on her, not have potty all over our house, and also to give our other dog and our cats a break from all that is Lucy, because boy, is she a bundle of energy. At night, we took out all of those other blankets and only leave in one toy that we put inside of the carrier right there. And that way, if she wants to snuggle up and get comfortable, she has to go inside of there. And so that helped her find out that it was not a scary place. It was actually a place that would give her comfort and help her feel that safety and that enclosure. And we began to be able to sleep a lot better at night, and so did she. And we've also found since then that we can open this up and turn it into a bigger area so she can have a little bit more room to play and jump around. The dogs can get to know each other a little bit better without having too much of her puppiness in everybody's face. And we can just kind of make sure that things are going to transition in a peaceful way, and that Zola doesn't get overwhelmed. Because Zola has been the light of the household and has been Morgan's best friend, and we wanted to ensure that there wasn't going to be any kind of aggression or upset and jealousy and feelings of being left out, because she, our little Zola, is still a very important member of this family. But this little playpen area has been our saving grace during the daytime when we can expand it, make it larger, and also in the nighttime when we can make it smaller and more compact. Another key to dealing with dogs, especially a little puppy, is to make sure that they go on walks. So twice a day, we have been taking little Lucy and Zola on a nice long walk. Even when she looks like she's ready to just lay down and fall asleep in her tracks, we keep her walking and keep her going. And that helps get some of that naughty puppy energy out. And it's a bonding moment. There's no better way to show your love for your dog than take him on a walk or go play fetch.
She's trying to leap.
And walking is really good once they have the run. It gets it all out. But I bet you, they just barely got her.
Word spread quickly through the farm, and all the animals became curious of the new resident. They all wanted to come and meet her. Lucy was not sure that this was a good idea. The sheer size of my sheep made her very nervous. We took it easy, and didn't force anything. It will happen. Would bring Lucy back in, and you can see there she's beginning to voluntarily go inside of her little crate. So she knows it's safety and it's happiness and it's calm and peace, and that she is going to be okay in there, and the fear is beginning to disappear. And that's what we wanted. We wanted to see that. We also wanted Lucy to know that she's okay just being in that cage, and that she doesn't have to be the center of attention all the time. But then we always bring her back out and let her play. We interact with her and make sure she gets plenty of loves and hugs and snuggles. And we try to help her learn how to play with Zola as well. But like one of the people, Marla actually, that called me and we chatted for a while, she said it was really important to let Lucy be a dog and to let Zola be a dog and to show Lucy the ropes. Lucy knows, however, she is not a cat. She was very perceptive to Odin's body language of do not get close. I'm a feline and you're a canine. Night times were hard. Lucy did not want to be in there alone. And so I would bring her up and let her snuggle with me for a while. And then I would put her back. And sometimes she would go and curl up inside of her little cage. We found, though, the secret was to putting the blanket over the entire cage. And that has been the second part of our saving grace. And so at night now we do that. And she sleeps most of the nights now. But these first couple nights, oh my goodness, it was really hard. So I turned on the nighttime music that I used to put my grandkids to sleep with, and I put my little Oliver Mozart, which is how she got her name, actually, because she loved Mozart music, and every time I turned on classical music, she would calm down and go to sleep. And so I thought, well, let's try it for this puppy. The puppy didn't seem to respond very well at first. Then she began to settle down a little bit when I found the puppy music. So I pulled it up on YouTube, and I'll leave a link for that below. And it seemed to calm her and soothe her a little bit, but it wasn't doing the job of putting her to sleep. Then I decided maybe it was time to truly pull out the stuff that my little Oliver Mozart listened to. There was a mixture of classical musics as well as these baby lullabies with these cool cylindrical shapes. I sat by her and gave her loves and tried to reassure her, but she was just unsettled. But when I changed the YouTube music to the lullabies, she settled right down. It's amazing to me how much the right music can soothe our soul. On this night, it truly was all the little things making the biggest difference for this huge transition in all our lives. And she's out. And she slept for probably 4 hours. Watch and follow along with us as we love our little Lucy and we share her growing up with you.